We play and call it work.
MiniWarGamer Dave here from MiniWarGaming.com, here with Rob. Welcome, Wargamers, to the Wrath of Magnus review. This is awesome. I was gonna say heaven, but it's kind of chaos, so it's almost like it's hell, but it's a heaven-hell because it's chaos. And I just love my life so much right now. I love Rob's face. So if you guys don't know Rob, he is our video editor, and he's getting into war games, and so I invited him with me for this video to do the review of the Wrath of Magnus. I'm going to give you my first impressions and thoughts and talk about some of the new units, because there are some new units. And in the link below, that'll be a link to a battle report in the MiniWarGaming vault, and we will do a demonstration battle report for some of the new models, including Magnus the Red, which is right here. And Cork has done a very good job of painting him up. He actually painted him. He stayed here until like 10 o'clock last. I had no idea he was doing it for me. And he was like, this morning, he's like, hey Dave, hey, here's Magnus. I painted for you for your video today. I'm like, dude, that's like the nicest thing ever. Now that's not even all of it, because all these right here, the Tzaangors, the very brand new models that you get as part of the new Tzeentch, Lee stayed here until like 1 o'clock last night getting these done for this video, for you guys, for the release, because it is new, it is hot, and it is awesome because it's chaos. More chaos is coming. I'm going to be adding to what you see right now. This is the very first of the Tzeentch army that I'll be collecting here, and it's going to be part of the studio army. It's going to be my chaos. I just love chaos so much. I can't help it.
Be prepared to be chaosified.
Yes, absolutely. So without further ado, let's zoom in and show you some of the new models. Just taking a look at Magnus the Red, the Demon Prince of Tzeentch. Demon Primarch, excuse me, of Tzeentch, not Prince. He's a Primarch. And it is absolutely awesome. Just to give you a size comparison here, that's his size. This is a Demon Prince, a regular Demon Prince. He's actually on an elevated base even. That's the difference. So he is the size comparable to a Bloodthirster. I would say he's even bigger than a Bloodthirster.
Yeah, he's a little bit bigger.
Yeah, he's a bit taller. And he's thicker. So he's bigger than a Bloodthirster even, just slightly. His base is circular as opposed to oval, and he's massive. He's got so many awesome abilities. Now, for those of you who do not know, he has weapon skill 7, ballistic skill 7. He's strength 8, toughness 7, 7 wounds, initiative 7, 6 attacks, leadership 10, and a 4-up save. He's 650 points. Now, automatically I thought to myself, that's way too many points. Come on, guys. You have this awesome new model, and he's so many points. It's just ridiculous. But I have to say this, it's not as bad as their other massively huge model that has 999 points, because it keeps with the Tzeentch theme. They didn't keep with the Tzeentch theme here because otherwise it would have been way too expensive, because it's like, it's 1,000 points just for him. So he's 650, and the special rules that he gets is he's a flying monstrous creature, so that's how he's counted. So he's not a Bloodthirster per se, although like he's not a gargantuan creature, although he should be. I think he should be. But maybe there's reasons for, I don't see any advantageous reason why he wouldn't be. But that's what he is. He's a flying monstrous creature. He's got adamantium will, which makes sense for him being the psyker that he is, the be-all, end-all psyker, really. He's a demon of Tzeentch, which is great. He gets to reroll his ones, his failed saving throws of 1. He can reroll them. He's got the Deep Strike special rule. He is Eternal Warrior, which makes sense. You shouldn't be able to just instant kill him because he's a Primarch. He's fearless. He's got Fleet. It will not die. He's a Psyker Mastery level 5. Now, I don't really collect Psykers too much. I don't like to fight Psykers too much. I find that it slows down the game. And I find that it's just too weird and odd to have a Psyker in your army, and sometimes I do, and when I fight them, it's like, okay, I'll try to just kind of ignore it and then get the phase over as quick as possible. But I'm feeling a changing of ways within myself. I'm feeling like I'm going to start to like Psykers because of this. And you'll see why in a moment. He's got the Veterans of the Long War special rule as well. Now, in addition to this, he's got Omniscient Eye. Magnus has line of sight to every unit on the battlefield when determining the targets of his psychic powers. So that's crazy. You can't hide from Magnus. I mean, that's pretty cool. That's terrifying, actually. He's got another ability called Unearthly Power, so he can manifest psychic powers on the roll of a 2+ instead of your normal 4+. So again, absolutely scary. He's rarely failing, just rarely. And he's got Psychic Mastery level 5, so it's that plus you're rolling your die, getting your warp charges, and it's super sweet, man. And once we get to the psychic powers for him, it's pretty ridiculous. Warlord trait, Lord of Flux. So how this works is every enemy unit within 12 inches of him treat the ground as difficult terrain. And if you run, go flat out, or turbo boost, you treat it as dangerous terrain. So that's kind of neat. So he knows the Gaze of Magnus psychic power. That's like his own specific psychic power. And then he knows all of the powers from the Tzeentch and Change disciplines. So he knows all of them, which really makes sense. We'll go over those in just a minute. First off, we got to talk about the Chaos artifact here. We need to talk about the Blade of Magnus. Strength user, which is Strength 8, AP 2. It's a force weapon. It's got Soul Blaze, and it has this Transmogrify special rule. Now what that does is, if he rolls 6s when he's wounding guys and they die as a result of it, then he can immediately replace what he killed with a Chaos Spawn. That's awesome.
Yeah, I could see his army getting a lot bigger.
A lot bigger. So it looks as though we need to be collecting more Chaos Spawn. I have about 10, but I have a funny feeling that I'm going to be collecting more because...
I think so.
First off, Tzeentch Spawn. It just says Spawn. It doesn't say Tzeentch Spawn, but still, keeping with the theme of Tzeentch, want to model up and convert up some Tzeentch Spawn, I think that'd be pretty sweet. So that's what that does. So that's pretty sweet. I mean, they're under your control as well. They're not just mindless. They become yours. And it says whenever he does that. So that's in my turn and your turn. If he's attacking a large group of guys that don't run away from combat, that seems to be the best case scenario, where he's kind of stuck in there with them. And he having toughness 7 against a bunch of dudes with strength 3, they can't even hurt him.
So he could make a lot of armies.
He could. He could make a lot of spawn and a lot of just mindless peons. It's pretty sweet. And he's got this another Chaos artifact called the Crown of the Crimson King. So that gives him a 4-up invuln save, and he never suffers from perils of the warp. Ever. So that is Magnus. That is the reason for the 650 points. Let's take a look at the actual psychic ability that he has that's built in. Gaze of Magnus. It is Warp Charge 5. I don't think I've ever seen a Warp Charge 5 psychic ability before. But seeing as that he's Mastery level 5 and he harnesses them on a roll of a 2+, I don't see it being a problem for him. Also, it's a beam. It's got 18-inch range. It is Strength D, AP 1, Assault 1, Soul Blaze. So here he is. He's a flying monstrous creature. He can fly around on the battlefield in the air. Nothing escapes his gaze because he's Magnus, so he doesn't need line of sight to things in order to get them. He's got this psychic beam of 18 inches, Strength D. It's a destroyer weapon. That is terrifying, man. So that alone is awesome. You're snap shooting him. He's harder to hit, and he's also hard to hurt because of his toughness and invulns and his Mark of Tzeentch. The only downside to him is that he is only invuln save 4. I would hope that he would have been a little bit better, maybe 3, even just a 3. 3-up invuln save, that would have been better. for the amount of points that he is. And I know he's been given a lot of flack. I've seen flack so far. He's like, oh, he's way too overcosted. Way too overcosted, you know, whatever. I've never actually fielded him before. So I can't say that. Looking at the numbers, it looks like he's a lot of points, and it looks like he'd be very expensive, and it feels like 4 pinball and save isn't enough. But I've never tried flying him in the air, shooting off his gaze of Magnus, and terrifying my opponent. I think I'm going to have to try that first, and then maybe I'll feel different about his 650 points. I don't know.
All I know, he's going to block out the sun.
He will.
When he's flying.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing, man. Like, it's so cool. Something else important to note about Magnus the Red is that he is included in a core choice for the detachment for the army. The Thousand Suns Grand Coven, that's the new detachment that you get when fielding the Thousand Suns. And the command benefits that you get for that, just talking about the detachment a little bit, is Lord of Fallen Prospero. So you get to reroll your failed warlord trait, so kind of, you know, built in. And then Masters of Arcane Knowledge. If a psyker from this detachment suffers perils of the warp, you can choose the rerolled result. So.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah, not bad. In addition, psychers from this detachment can attempt to manifest 1 additional psychic power in each psychic phase. For example, if they're psychic level 3, they can try to manifest 4 psychic powers. So that's what you get. So obviously psyker heavy, and that's what they're focusing on. But for good reason, because they're all cohesive. That's how they work together. I'm feeling it, man. I'm very Khorne. But, and I know Khorne and Tzeentch, they're like, but I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the Tzeentch. I'm feeling the draw. It is still chaos. It is still chaos. Not trying to convince myself.
Well,
I'm actually not. Like, this is so cool. Like, he is a core choice. He's not a Lord of War. He's not even a command choice. Actually, he could be taken as a command choice as well. But he's included in one of the cores, which is really cool. That's what I like about it. Which is kind of crazy, because he's so much. So many points. He's a Primarch.
he is, but, you know, like you said, when you actually use him, you will determine if the points is worth it for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking about the new Tzeentch discipline. In the old Chaos Codex, there were only 3 plus the Primarch, so 4 technically, psychic abilities that you got. But now we have a full 6 plus the Primarch, so 7 abilities that you get on the Tzeentch discipline. Doombolt, Boon of Mutation, the Primaris Power of Firestorm, and Breath of Chaos, they all remained. These are the 3 additional ones that you get. You get Siphon Magic, which is pretty sweet. It's a blessing. A psyker could bless himself. It's Warp Charge 1. Basically, any successful psychic charges or psychic abilities that are passed, you get to add a die, 1 more dice to the guy that cast it, and then he can use those dice to more psychic powers.
That's really good.
So he's like, okay, you're successful, I get a die. Oh, you're successful, I get a die. And just like, you can get more. There's just a lot of psychic happening. I'm feeling that the psychic phase is basically going to replace the combat, like the close combat phase. Not replace it, but like make up for the fact that they aren't a close combat army. Although I would argue that Magnus is good in close combat.
I wouldn't want to get in close combat with them.
Yeah. Okay, so the other ability here, Baleful Devolution, Warp Charge 2. With this, it is Strength 6, AP 2, Assault D6, and Transmogrify, which we know he has that special rule on his weapon, but this is an actual psychic ability that targets the any wound, any 2-wound roll of 6, right? If it dies, whatever is targeted dies, then it's replaced with a spawn. So it's an actual psychic ability that's separate from Magnus. Another psyker could have this ability, and just spawn all over the battlefield. So lots of spawn. I got to add more to the 10 that I have. Probably
yes.
going to be more, right?
Yeah.
So this is their version of creating more models, I guess.
I can see you using him.
Yeah, I can see me using him too very soon.
Yes.
Yeah, probably in the battle report to follow this one.
I mean, afterward.
Oh, after.
that,
Oh,
yes.
okay, yeah. Sorry. That's
For some bat reps. You're going to be...
that sounded very sarcastic. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. I'm just very excited. I'm just excited, Rob. That's yeah. I want to fly in the air and zap stuff with my laser.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be in trouble.
Okay. We should put up the Bloodthirster versus Magnus. That's probably a no-brainer, though. Maybe 2 Bloodthirsters. Something. We'll figure it out. Maybe even him versus Horus. The couple Primarchs.
I think Horus for sure.
Yeah, I think that'd be a cool matchup. Just so you guys can see the difference in the power of Magnus. Last one is Treason of Tzeentch. Treason of Tzeentch is awesome because it's Warp Charge 3, and for good reason, because it's a malediction, 24-inch range, and basically a unit that is an enemy unit that's not locked in close combat. You target them, and if you make your roll, if it's successful, you get to control their shooting attack.
Control their shooting attack?
Yeah, you get to shoot something with that unit. So, hello, Devastators.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, so it's pretty sweet, right? Or just whatever. It's got to be within 24 inches, though. So that's huge, man. That's a big deal.
You're going to want to stay away from him as much as possible.
Yeah, and it's not just him, though. It's any Psyker.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and there's going to be a lot of Psykers in the army. Like, you got the Cabal that he can bring, and then you got just the Psyker in every rubric unit, rubric marine units, and they're called that. They're not called Thousand Suns anymore. They're called rubric marines.
Oh.
Yeah, although they are still Thousand Suns. That's how I'll always see them as. Rubric marines. Let's take a special look at the Tzaangors. Tzaangor, 70 points for the 10. These guys are not the exact same as cultists, but they're comparable because they're cheap. They're 7 points a model. You can have up to 30 in one unit, because you can add 20 to this, which is nice. Their war gear is 2 close combat weapons. Their special rules is they have the Mark of Tzeentch, which means they have a 6-up invuln save. They're not demons. I thought they were demons. They look like demons, but they're not. They have the Mark of Tzeentch. That's what they are. They are Relic Hunters. That's another special rule. Basically what it says is they can re-roll all failed 2-hit rolls in close combat against enemy models equipped with a relic or their faction's equivalent. Example, Chaos Artifacts. So that's pretty sweet. It looks like they're good HQ killers, but I wouldn't necessarily just use them for that. They look like they're good objective holders because you get a lot for cheap. Now, in addition to this, each model, any Tzaangor, may replace both close combat weapons with an auto pistol and a chainsword. Each one here that you see is modeled with an auto pistol and a chainsword. I don't see a case where you would never do that. It's 1 point a model. That brings the cost of each model to 8 points a piece.
So that's pretty good.
That is, yeah. I mean, it's not the cheapest, but it's still cheap. They're squishy, though. They're weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 3, strength 3. They're toughness 4, so that's not too bad. 1 wound, initiative 3, 1 attack base, but they have 2 because of the close combat weapon, or the chainsword and the auto pistol. Leadership 7, and they are a 6-up save, but they got a Mark of Tzeentch, so that's a 6-up invuln save. So they're always going to have a save of some sort. In the unit here, you can have what's called a Twist Bray. That's how I'll pronounce it. It's a Twist Bray, and that's basically the champion in the unit, and he gets an extra attack and an extra leadership. That's what he gets in addition to everything. So you can't really... You have to spend 10 points in order to do that. So I wonder what I would do. I would probably not do that, because it says you may upgrade one Tzaangor to a Twist Bray. Because I would rather spend the 8 points and get another model, get 1 more wound, get 1 more pistol. I guess the one difference is that you don't have a character, but that's not always advantageous to have a character. It all depends. I probably wouldn't to start, and then once I feel them a bit and see how it feels, then maybe I will later. But right now, no Twist Bray. They're all straight up Tzaangors. We're going to be including these guys in the battle report to follow this video in the MiniWarGaming vault. We're going to have them on display demonstrating their prowess on the battlefield, however that looks like. We'll pit them up against things that are comparable. We'll also pit them up against things that aren't, just to see how it works, just to see how they are, see what they can be useful for. Right now, my instinct tells me that they would be objective holders, they'd be fodder, they'd be good to place in front of other units as cover for better units. Don't know. Something like that. Either way, they're cheap, and it's good to have a lot of them. Let's talk a little bit about the formation that the Tzaangor are able to come in. Tzaangor Warherd. A couple special rules there. You got Fleet, which helps them out a bit, makes them a little bit better. You got to bring a Sorcerer or Exalted Sorcerer with them, and that includes 3 units of Tzaangors. That's the formation. You got to bring 3, so at least 30 models, because it's a minimum of 10 per unit, right? And Avaricious Vigor is the special rule, and it says Tzaangor units from this formation can run and charge in the same turn. That helps. Fleet plus running and charging makes it better. I'll say better. I'm not going to say good because I automatically compare it to Khorne when I think of close combat. When I think of close combat, I want to bring Khorne. I don't think of Tzeentch. So that's why I'm giving it a better right now. And without having fielded it, I'll also do that. Now, when I do the demonstration bat rep, I'll probably do it with this formation just to make it better. Because I don't know if I'll ever bring them without a formation. Because they aren't good enough. I'll say that. I don't want to bring them. That's my knee-jerk reaction feeling. But with the formation, it makes them better. So I will with the formation. So in addition, if a charging Tzaangor unit rolls 9 or more for its charge roll, add 1 to their strength and initiative in the ensuing fight subphase. Again, that's better. That makes it viable. It's not 100%, but it makes it something that is better than nothing. So running and charging, that's the biggest deal there because that's always going to happen. And +1 to strength and initiative, that's huge. Because their initiative 3 right now brings them to strength 4, and their strength 3 right now bringing them to strength 4. So that's not bad. Favorite of Tzeentch. So if a Tzaangor Warherd contains the maximum number of units, then units from the formation can reroll all failed saving throws of 1. That basically, it's like half a Demon of Tzeentch rule. Or maybe a third, I'll say a third. Because Demon of Tzeentch, you can reroll your failed saving throws of 1. And it gives you the Demon special rule, which is a 5-up invuln save. They already have a 6-up invuln because of the Mark of Tzeentch. So with this, they can re-roll their failed saving throws of 1. That makes it better. Another brand new unit that we'll focus on, which I will have built and assembled and painted, and I'm very happy about, are the Scarab Occult Terminators. They are brand new to Thousand Suns, brand new to the model universe. So they're brand new models. Really cool. Very awesome. I have 10. They're going to be coming their way. I am assembling them with the new weapons that they are given. And that is the Soul Reaper Cannon. Soul Reaper Cannon is different from an Assault Cannon, although it looks like it similarly to. It's 24-inch range. It is Strength 5, AP 3, Assault 4, Rending. Oh, pardon me, not Assault 4, Heavy 4, Rending. But it doesn't matter for these guys because they're Terminators, so it doesn't affect their movement or anything like that. But it's already AP 3. So Rending on top of it just makes it awesome. Just makes it so they can shoot Terminators with it, and it's cool. And it's Heavy 4. Dang, man. That is nuts. Now for the models themselves, stat line across the board is the same as a regular Terminator with the exception of Leadership 10, which is kind of cool. Now the Scarab Occult Sorcerer, so that guy right there, he has Weapon Skill 5 and he's got 2 wounds. So that's something to take note of. That's a big deal. That makes him really strong. Now for this unit of 5, it's 250 points unupgraded. So they're 50 points apiece, essentially. You could add more to the unit, up to 5 more, for 40 points apiece. So that one Occult Sorcerer makes up for a lot of points there. He's basically 90 points, but He's kind of the same strength as a sorcerer. Actually, maybe even better, because he's got Terminator armor, so it makes sense. This is something that I'll note, and this is something that's a big deal for the entire army. There's an army-wide rule called Blessing of Tzeentch, and what that does is any unit that has Veterans of the Long War special rule, if they are affected by a blessing, then their invuln save is increased by 1. Now these guys here who have Terminator armor with invuln save of 5 up, they have the Mark of Tzeentch, which increases by 1, giving them a 4 up invuln save. If they are blessed with the blessing, since they have Veterans of the Long War special rule, it becomes a 3 up invuln save on these Terminators. So that's something to take note of. That's something that I'll try out once they're assembled and painted up and I'm fielding them on the battlefield. That makes them that much more resilient and scary. The regular Occult Terminators in the squad, they are equipped with Infernal Commie Bolters. That's strength 4, AP 3, twin linked. That is a big deal on these dudes. Just their regular weaponry is awesome. And then they have a power sword on top of that. So good in close combat, good with shooting. They can rapid fire and they can assault because they're slow and purposeful. Well, they're Terminator. So anyway, so it doesn't matter. Relentless. For every 5 models that you have in the unit, you can equip 1 with a Soul Reaper cannon. I already explained what that was. That's 30 points for that gun, which kind of makes sense. It's good. It's a good gun, man. Also, it says for every 5 models, you can put a missile rack, Hellfire missile rack on one. That's basically 2 missile launchers. It's a heavy 2 missile launcher. In a later video, we'll do a bat rep demonstration on these guys. We're not going to do it in the bat rep to follow, but look forward to that because that's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you very much for tuning in, Wargamers, to this initial thoughts of the Wrath of Magnus new codex, is it codex supplement, campaign, whatever, you know, it's new chaos. Again, I have to contain myself. It's the book of chaos. Yeah, I got to contain myself here because I just wanted to feel stuff on the battlefield and become a sorcerer. I'm not a sorcerer. I'm a Khornate champion of Khorne.
You sound like your 2 sides are battling each other.
It's really very much in my mind. It's ripping apart. I can't help it. Anyway, click on the link below if you want to see the demonstration battle report between Magnus the Red and the new Tzaangors and other models. We're going to be fielding Magnus against a Primarch.
I think I'm in trouble.
Which one yet? We're not sure. Maybe Horus. You know what? If I say it now and say, hey, should we do Horus? You guys leave a comment, and then we're going to film it before you leave the comment. So it's just, you're going to project that thought into the warp, and then we're going to receive it. It's going to time travel in the past from the future to us. And by the time they're watching it, it's in the present. That's how that works.
You know about the present, right? Why it's called the present? Because it's always a gift.
Of chaos? That's
right.
what you did there. That was very clever. So, click on the link below. Thank you very much for watching, Wargamers, and for all of your support. If you're not a Vault member, then we invite you to click on that link, sign up for a 7-day free trial to the MiniWarGaming Vault. You'll gain instant access to that video, to that battle report. Vault members help to support us and enables us to create all these videos and the battle reports and the campaigns and everything else that you watch on MiniWarGaming, provided by the support of Vault members. We wouldn't exist without them, and that is the truth. So thank you very much for your support and help, and see you in the next video. Happy Wargaming.